So I'm walking, because I came in early, and so I'm minding my own business, and I come across this press conference out right in front of Federal Hall where the George Washington statue is, right? So I'm kind of standing there looking around, there's all these reporters, and I'm wondering, what's going on here? All of a sudden this guy, a literal brown shirt, he's got a brown shirt, starts pushing me back, and I said, don't touch me. And so he kind of backed off, but he kind of bullied me back to, toward kind of far off. And then I'm asking, who is this person? Who is this person? He's like, you don't have to know who this person is. It's some guy in a suit with his hair slicked back, putting his hand on the statue. And then I started filming, and he said, you can't film here. Other people were able to snap pictures, but he said I couldn't film. So I said, who are you, a cop? And he said, yeah, I'm a cop. I said, where's your badge? He said, it's in my pocket. I said, you're not a cop. So then he says, well, you're interfering with our copyright. And I say, out here in the street, I'm interfering with your copyright? And he said, this is a private building. I said, the street is not a private building. So anyway, I'm continuing to film, and he's standing in front of me like this, and I'm trying to put my camera over his shoulder. He reaches into his pocket, and my camera just goes all fritz and crazy. So then we had a debate. I said, who is that? Who's that statue? He said, that's George Washington. I said, yeah, what did he fight for? He's like, I love George Washington. And I basically, the crowd wasn't with me. People were heckling me, telling me to shut up. But I just want to know who this guy was. I got a very small clip of him, but I just want to know who was being photographed, and that's my right as an American.
When did it happen?
This morning. I would say maybe around 10 o'clock or so.
So, have you ever identified, where he was, who he was with, or anything?
No,
like that?
I have no clue. And before I even got a real good look at who the celebrity was, they pushed me back. And what's funny is some cops came by a few minutes later after they left, and I asked them, am I allowed to film out here in the streets? I told them what happened. I was accosted, and that a guy was impersonating a police officer. And they acted kind of smug about it, kind of smirked around, and they said, well, and I said, well, if a guy was out here playing guitar, would I be able to film him? They're like, yeah, you can film anywhere you want. And I asked them, what about technology? I mean, the guy reached into his pocket, and my camera went fritz, and they kind of laughed at me and said, oh, maybe aliens, that's cute. But, it's just, who are the cops here to protect? Are they here to protect, the rights of the citizens or an elite few? Because everybody is not equal here in America anymore. And that's sad.